everybody, welcome back to the Scentatar Fragrance channel. Thank you so much for stopping by today. My name is Benjamin. I do review fragrances, colognes, perfumes, and all things scent related. So if you want to learn more about those colognes and perfumes and all those scented things, if you want to save some money, have some fun, join me on a fragrance journey today. Please do me a big favor. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and even share the video. It would mean the world to me, and it would definitely help this channel grow. If you think that I should grow, if you want this channel to succeed, and we do have a strong fragrance family, please do that for me. Let's talk about this fragrance and not waste any time. First, I do feel with this fragrance, and since this is a full-length review today, I feel like we should talk about the presentation. The box here, really fast, is a beautiful golden box. If you've never seen a Bvlgari box like this, this is a really nice one, and it's from their herbal or kind of their tea floral collection. And I think this whole line perhaps is discontinued at this point, but I think it's really nice to have in the collection. There's nothing else out there like it, and even though it's just a box, I think it's quite nice. And of course, I do store my fragrances in the box to help them last a long time. But let's jump into the juice. But before we do, let's talk about the bottle real fast. A beautiful, classy bottle. Look how beautiful this is. It's still transparent even though it is very dark, and it's going to protect it from the light, and it looks very nice. Black and gold. This is the intense version, the Eau de Nior Intense. I'd have to make that very clear. They have a regular version that has a silver plaque in the front here. It looks silver overall. This one is gold. This is, we're going to talk about the performance in a quick second, but overall, look at the cap. It's a heavy weight. I'm just going to get rid of this box here. This is a beautiful presentation. It clicks into place so well. You can control the spray here if you want to, faster or slower. It's a quality package overall. Very impressed with this fragrance. Let's talk about how this fragrance smells, and then of course, the performance, the compliment factor, and the price. First off, this fragrance is beautiful. I truly love this fragrance. It has a little bit of a backbone of rose and oud. If you were to go to a place like Fragrantica, perhaps that is the first thing you're going to hear somebody say. It's just a rose oud fragrance. And there is so much going on in this fragrance. There is so much more to this fragrance than just rose and oud. It is not a rose and oud heavy fragrance, but you can still tell it has that DNA overall and that overall feel, texture, and quality to the fragrance. If you're in the West, you're probably familiar with that combo because rose and oud match so well. It's a classic combo from the Middle East. The rose is soft, it has a floral nature and a little bit of sweetness mixed with the oud that is kind of rough wood. It's kind of sour. Comes together, makes a luxurious quality where each note complements each other, and you're able to get kind of a top, a middle, and a base to the fragrance with just two notes. It's an amazing thing, and it's an amazing combo. It is used so often that it can seem boring if you're really into fragrances, but there is a lot more going into this fragrance. There's a magnolia that helps round out this fragrance and give the fragrance a little bit of a skin texture. I did have to look up the floral note. At first I thought it might have been jasmine, but now I definitely am really familiar with magnolia. It's a tree, and it produces a seed pod, and I have held these and smelled these in my own hand before, and they're generally red, and they just have a beautiful floral skin-like smell to them. It's quite a good smell. So a very nice floral aspect to this fragrance makes this fragrance softer, a little bit more kind. You might be saying this doesn't smell very masculine, perhaps more feminine. This is a truly unisex fragrance. Both genders can very easily and very happily wear this fragrance, and especially because of the next very important note with this fragrance, Chinese black tea. This black tea lends a little bit of a masculinity, almost a little bit of an inky feel, and it is quite a beautiful fragrance. If you watched my haul video, yes, my haul video where I introduced this fragrance, it reminded me of a certain fragrance a little bit, just a tiny bit, and I was very impressed, and I thought that was very funny. It's none other than Silver Mountain Water. That Chinese black tea can have a tiny bit of that inky vibe of Silver Mountain Water, but it doesn't have near as much of it. but overall it can kind of have that effect on your skin, and it might remind you a little bit of Silver Mountain Water, but this is a completely different fragrance, and they definitely weren't trying to clone it or make an interpretation of it whatsoever. So overall, a beautiful black tea fragrance with a little bit of a rose oud combo. Overall, it's quite a soft fragrance, quite a skin-like fragrance. It almost wants to become powdery, but it never smells powdery. Soft floral fragrance. Definitely can be easily worn by the men, but would be very attractive and a fantastic fragrance on a lady. With the projection and the longevity, this fragrance still suffers from performance issues. This is the intense version, so it's stronger than the original, but overall it's still a 4, maybe a 5 hour fragrance. If you oversprayed on your clothes, perhaps you could get 6 hours out of this fragrance, but it's not a shouter of a fragrance. It stays close to the skin, and it doesn't last very long particularly. That can be a huge downside to a fragrance, but the thing is, this is definitely a romantic fragrance. This is a fragrance for a special date, a anniversary, a very special occasion, when you've set up a rendezvous, or all those kinds of things. This fragrance is beautiful. This fragrance is going to do the job if that's the kind of thing you're looking for. So I'm saying that this is a beautiful date fragrance. I can put my word on it that this is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance, and I am shocked by the quality and how this fragrance smells. I'm not big into rose oud fragrances. This gave me enough of a uniqueness with this fragrance for me to fall in love with it. So again, kind of a soft fragrance, and that kind of gets into the compliment factor. So overall, it's a very personal scent. I haven't worn it a lot around people casually. I feel like it's very romantic. It's a fragrance that definitely is going to want people. It's gonna put people in the mood, or perhaps show that you have that kind of intent. So it's not a office appropriate fragrance, in my opinion. It's not a casual wear fragrance. This is a special occasion kind of fragrance, and it looks like it. It looks gorgeous. Again, I do like this presentation, and presentation isn't everything. But another reason why this is so great as a date fragrance, and this will get into the compliment factor here, is because this fragrance smells quite natural. It's probably not the most natural, but it's so well blended, and it's so soft. It just smells kind of natural off the skin. So it smells beautiful, and up close it doesn't smell bad. There are some really good fragrances out there, and nothing's wrong with them, but if you were to dig your nose into them, you could tell that perhaps they don't smell the best, and perhaps they are synthetic, and nothing is wrong with fragrances like that. But if you're going to have a situation where two people are very close together, perhaps action sparks are flying, you want a fragrance that can really stand up to that. You don't want a fragrance that's going to be too loud or too strong. This is definitely a good personal scent for that kind of situation. So again, beautiful compliment factor for anybody who did smell me close, who had that opportunity. They were very impressed with it. I let everybody I know kind of try it or smell it on my wrist, just ask them their opinion, and they were quite impressed with it. They said it smelled kind of familiar, but kind of different. And I do like when a fragrance has enough mass appeal that it doesn't scare them off, but then yet they say there's something different about that, and it kind of pulls people in. It has a magnetism, and I love that about this fragrance. So overall, let's talk about the price and the availability now. Guys and gals, ladies and gents, this is almost a extinct fragrance. There's very few bottles out there. I was able to get my bottle off of eBay, and there are a few sellers out there who have a few bottles. As far as I know, there might only be 20 bottles available online to get. This fragrance isn't hyped. This one flew under the radar. Not many people know about this fragrance. And if it had hype behind it, people would be charging $150 or $200 for this fragrance. But because it doesn't perform very well, because it wasn't a very, very highly marketed line, because it's a little bit more of a personal scent, and just because reviewers and people out there, the fragrance community hasn't talked about it, this fragrance, you can find it at a spectacular, amazing value of $55, maybe $60. I am so very happy to tell y'all that. Again, I talk about the presentation and the smell because when I first got this, I was so impressed. For the price, for $55, this is a steal of a value. This is an amazing value. Probably compares with getting my Peruvian Ambrette by Zigna, which you can get that one. I still believe there might be a bottle or two out there for about $55 when it retailed for about $150. So a third of the price. This fragrance, in my opinion, is pretty much a niche fragrance. I think it's worth $100, $120. This fragrance is worth the money, and it's quite a good fragrance for $55. And I love the presentation. I love a unique presentation in a fragrance. Overall, I am sold, and I am happy to share this hidden gem with y'all. This is a hidden gem kind of fragrance. No, I think this is the first review on YouTube of this fragrance. The first reviewer to ever talk about this fragrance, and maybe the last. Then again, this is a fragrance that came and it went without a lot of hoorah, with not a lot of didn't make a lot of noise in the fragrance community, and I think it's quite a shame. So if you want a slightly inky tea fragrance with a beautiful rose oud combo with a very nice soft kind of floral aspect to it, it's very unisex, very romantic, very charming. It's going to do the job for you for romantic situations. I put my word on it. This stuff is beautiful. It's not the sweetest. It's not the most modern. It perhaps is a little bit more for the mature crowd, or for somebody who really knows what romance is about. You know, the charm. Maybe you could think of a Spanish kind of lover, or that kind of thing, with those nice soft words. This is definitely that kind of fragrance. So again, thank y'all so much for stopping by today. This is a beautiful fragrance, and I hope that it comes across that I gloat about this fragrance, and I am celebrating this fragrance for how good it is. So again, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you liked my content. Check this fragrance out. Let me know if this sounds interesting to you. Let me know if you're interested in full-length reviews or compliment kind of content. Again, not all the fragrances are about compliments. Not all fragrances really are focused on compliments. This is a personal fragrance. This is a romantic fragrance. So thank y'all so much for stopping by today again. And I really do appreciate you. Let me know what your date fragrance is of choice, your romantic fragrance is, what you like to wear. I would love to know in the comment section below. Please hit that, again, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Wear what you love. I'll see y'all next time. This has been the Centaur Fragrance Channel. Have some fun. Have a fantastic weekend. I'll see y'all next time. And again, I appreciate every single one of y'all. Have a good one. Have a fantastic weekend. And bye.